Soyeon, am I right? I've spoken about her before. I think the K-pop fandom has a strange relationship with her, where they say she's a good writer whose writing is bad, and I have a hard time accepting that. Not because I think her writing is brilliant, but because I see the point in what people will call bad. When I say to read lyrics, that's why. I don't mean to say lyrics are the end all be all and songs have to have meaning to be good, but I do mean to say good writing is functional. And I decided to look at some more of Soyeon's writing. I wanted to see if it was functional, and spoiler alert, in my opinion, it was. Starting where my questions began, I like how my bag reshuffles traditional language. I know people don't like its quote unquote bad English, obviously, but I think it's effective. They almost address the diamonds themselves, but identify their qualities first while implicitly suggesting there are other diamonds not being identified. They call them it and do not say the, creating an interesting relationship with psychic distance. They also truly see themselves, but you have to wonder through what gaze. What is the bag? If the diamonds are it, are the diamonds viewed as one? They even characterize the mother as if to give into an extra dose of genuinely interesting humanity, and they repeat everything twice per chorus as if this is all routine. There's some verbal irony saying uh-oh when they genuinely like something. They use incomplete sentences when speaking about their voice, their soul voice that gets a great reaction. They say just to draw simple connections. They conflate the past and present. They kind of speak backwards, rude but fanciful upfront and ungrateful, even reiterating their comment to taste. And there's some epistrophe saying, for me. There's onomatopoeia, and they narrowly evade perfect feminine rhyme over the course of different lines while successfully using near feminine internal rhyme. They talk about living in a figurative sense, but elevate water symbolic of life. There's dialogue in the moment, implementing a crude tone as if from above while lowering the song's standard. And they go back to their incomplete sentences. We have to ask if there are multiple bags to show since they refer to a light one, but they are more concerned with how theoretically fear defines you as dumb. They provide nuance and perspective, but try to stay light, but get emboldened. Maybe they're not their authentic self, but they're more authentic than the subject. They bring back the water motif as well, conveying the difference between being empty and overflowing, saying that to engage with closer psychic distance. When they say it's too early, you have to ask if it will be brought up again as if things are developing in real time. They are reductive and vain, they are vain and reductive. There is an inherent abstract quality as a thing defines a thing, defining life or lack thereof. They implement various senses and are reductive while dramatic. They embrace the moment by denying the demands of creating the future, and they demand you discard hope, knowing of reality. Kate's opening is immediately intriguing, referring to bread, which always makes me question if a character is meant to be seen as a Jesus figure, but they also omit their role and how they begin, not focusing on their specific possession of their drink or its direct consumption. The difference between this and I'm so tired I might die is stark. They also identify the dreams they describe as the subjects rather than their own, making you question what is theirs. I mean, they have something in hand every day. They keep something that should help them, that they should like, but they don't possess it in every sense of the word. And who does the dream belong to? I also enjoy the pre-chorus. It reminds me of a line in Daughter of Smoke and Bone when Caro says to be that cat. But I also like how you get to piece together the story of the kid as the song goes on, but it's also happening on a normal day in this busy life, and somehow recontextualizing it in this sense only makes fate seem more crazy, like when people say they're so lucky to live at the same time as an artist or something. I also like how fate is not just one moment, you have a part in it, an experience of it, even if the new world is opposite. Fate is also not the end in every sense. It can be an end and something beyond, and they focus on the moment before or aftermath, saying just and setting up expectations, and you have to ask if the world simply denies them. They portray the positive and negative in the sense of behavioral learning, but it doesn't even amount to remembering what you need. It communicates in a very odd way, psychology being more complex than we always recognize. There are no answers, just impressions. The pre chorus is very personal despite speaking hypothetically, again, making impressions. The bridge portrays how the world isn't personal with no subject. It's interesting how they talk about existing outside of memory or in an unknown time or place. It seems as if they are making demands of fate, but I wonder, how does the idea of fate fit into psychology then? Is it molded? Can it be molded? I like the parallel structure in Nxde, even if it doesn't give me all of the answers. But they ultimately seem to deny fate. They have their own ideas, but what does it mean to evade hurt in this context? Now, the big one. People have so much to say about Tomboy's lyrics. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a lot. I think the lyrics are pretty straightforward in terms of actual meaning. For some reason, I think they sound sort of clunky at times, but I don't consider myself the most observant about actual sound. I might just have trouble understanding the audio. I will say there's a line here that I really enjoy, though, that being sometimes we swear without cigarettes. I love that. There's a grace to its phrasing when literally talking about swearing and cigarettes. I like that they are so direct in characterization. They don't swear as part of a fabricated image, and they go on to reject a stereotypically masculine image, genuinely reacting with frustration, not getting too ahead of themselves, that you lose their voice in it all. Is Soyeon brilliant? I don't value my own opinion enough to feel I get to decide that, but I don't think people who call her writing terrible often ponder beyond what they like the sound of. And that's fine. But please consider the logic of your approach if you actually want to engage in conversation. I'm not saying you're wrong either. I'm saying, if anything, I'd love to be convinced because for now I'm just confused how we got here.